Sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it with another Forza Horizon 4 build video. If you guys are tuning in, we are coming back off quite a hiatus. Been taking a little bit of time off of doing the gaming videos to focus more so on my main channel, youtube.com/Denali, where we are building some actual cars in real life. So if you guys have not subscribed to my other channel, make sure you do so. But with that being said, we have a request coming from a couple of people, and I'm excited to jump back into the gaming videos with this one in particular. Today's request is coming from Braden Plays 119, Don Cubas, Tyler Smith, and Aaron Gonzalez, and they all want to see that Racer Miata SR20 Roadster build. Now what we're going to do is jump into the Mazda section here, where we are going to buy a Mazda Miata. Now I don't think that Forza Horizon 4 actually has a Roadster. For those of you guys who do know, the Mazda Roadster is actually the JDM version of the Miata right-hand drive, but for today's purpose of today's video, we are going to be buying this 1994 Mazda Miata. Now he also has the Blueberry Miata. This guy has had a ton of Miatas in the past, but I have to say, out of all the Miatas that he's owned, this one in particular that we're gonna build is definitely my favorite. And now that we've purchased our Miata in a very cherry red, I think what we're going to do now is jump into the garage section, upgrades and tuning in particular, and begin with the upgrade process. Now, for those of you guys who have watched Racer Miata's channel, he's been building this thing over the last year, pushing damn near 400 horsepower, if not more. So we're going to have to find a 2-liter engine swap here. It looks like we got the 1.6 liter, 2.6 liter 4-rotor, a 6.2 liter V8. Looks like we do have a 2-liter engine here. Not exactly sure what car this is coming out of, but for the purpose of today's video, that quote SR20 build, I think that's going to suffice just enough. Obviously, the SR20 coming turbo from factory, and Racer Miata's got a couple of upgrades on there, so we're definitely going to have to upgrade this one in particular when the time comes. Now, as far as bumpers and body kits go, for those of you guys who know, this is not rocking any kind of Racer body kit. Despite the name Racer Miata, this Miata is extremely clean, so I think we're going to go ahead and do a couple of modifications here. In particular, we're going to delete that rear spoiler. Rear bumper doesn't need any love. I'm hoping we can get some side skirts with the side splitters on here. Doesn't look like we can, so we're just going to pass on those. And of course, the hood, we're going to go ahead and leave stock. Now, as far as the wheels and tires go, this thing has a pretty aggressive set of drag tires. Now, since this is, we're going to set it up for the street. We're going to put on a nice sticky set of tires, fatten these bad boys up just a little bit, both front and back. And then I believe the rims that Racer Miata, Chris Rudnick, is rocking are a nice set of TE. So I'm going to try to find a set of wheels that replicates those, if not the exact set of wheels. And there you have it, the Volk Racing TE37s. So we're going to go ahead, add those bad boys up. We're also going to beef up the wheel size just a little bit. I think 16s are going to be probably as big as I'm going to want to go with these wheels here. And of course, since we do have the option, we're going to just widen the track width just a little bit. Make this thing look nice and beefy. You know what? Just a little bit is not going to do it. Let's widen this thing as much as we possibly can here. Give us a nice beefy stance with this car. Maybe the rear not quite as much as the front. And now comes the drivetrain. Obviously, we're going to go ahead, upgrade that clutch as per what Chris Rudnick did to his. I'm also going to upgrade the differential just because I would like to see this thing, you know, a little bit more driftable than what Racer Miata has. His setup geared more towards the track and drag racing, as well as taking her out to a little bit of autocrossing. Now obviously upgrading those brakes, then we are going to go ahead, upgrade the suspension just a little bit. I'm going to put some upgraded sway bars, both front and back, just to help us if we do decide to do some street / autocross in this thing. I think that's definitely going to help. And of course, we're going to throw in a roll cage since Racer Miata does have the roll cage on there. Now comes the fun part. We're looking for right around 400 horsepower with this thing, which is going to be right around 300 kilowatts. Now, the reason we are using kilowatts is your boy here is from Canada, so it helps when I'm actually racing that thing to be out in kilometers an hour. Just give me an idea of exactly what I'm working with. Now we are going to go ahead and upgrade the turbo. Looks like we're peaking over 300 kilowatts right now, but that is okay. Not going to be a problem. That's pretty much as far as we're going to take this build. In order to keep it realistic, I think that is going to be just about as much power as we're going to put into this one for today. So we're going to go ahead, install the setup here. Relatively modest build compared to some of the other builds that we have done recently on the channel. And now that we got that out of the way, we're going to hit up those designs and paints. We're going to go ahead and paint this car up that Mako white. For those of you guys who know, got that Mako paint job on here. Can't say it's, you know, even Racer Miata himself will say that there are flaws in this paint job, but to be honest, when it's on camera and on YouTube, I can't lie, the thing is looking crispy. Painting up those wheels nice and white, no tint on this thing as it stands right now. So we're going to go ahead and install this setup real quick. And now that we got all that out of the way, we are ready to take this thing out on the road, see what it can do. I do want to do, before we get this thing out on the road, obviously make some turbo noises, but I want to take this car to the drag strip and see if we can get this thing out of the 11s. Now I just checked online, looks like this thing's running consistent 11s. Not when you run it into a wall though, unfortunately. But what I think we're gonna do is see if we can get this particular car into the 10s right now before we do anything. So we're just gonna go ahead, set up a drag event, and see exactly what this thing is running. Now, judging from that little bit of wheel spin just from driving over here, I'm gonna guess this thing is gonna be like a mid-11 car. I think the best time in this car right now is like an 11.2, 11.3. If there's one thing that I've learned about drag racing in real life, it's never expect anything, because you will always be disappointed. When you're at the track, there's lots of variables that come into play, and you very rarely actually run the time that you want to run. But we're gonna see if we can get this thing into the 10s real quick. Off the line, hooking and booking relatively quickly here. Now we do have a little bit more power than that 400 horsepower. Looks like we're taking second place, and the time slip says a 12.2. Damn, that's a little bit disappointing. A little bit too much wheel spin there. I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and restart this race. See if we can get one more run in here. I think what I'm gonna do is just do a solo run here. Can only have up to 5 blueprints, no big deal. I'm gonna see if we can get a solo pass in here. What is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen? I am not sure. We're going for Mazda here. We're gonna go ahead, create the blueprint. Now, I'm not sure if there's gonna be other people that I'm racing against. Not that it really matters. It just gives you a little more concentration when you are in fact by yourself. And of course, naturally, we're racing against other people. So what I'm gonna do is just not talk on the launch here. That way I can really, really listen for those shift points real quick. Taking her up to red line, nice and quick there. Felt like a good launch. We're definitely beating the rest of the Mazdas there. Hit red line real quick. Are we out of the 12s? That is the question. A 12.2. Once again, like I said, never expect anything because you will always be disappointed. But now that we got this thing out on the drag strip and see what it can do, I think it's only right that we take this thing out on the road. Just take it for a good romp and see how this thing performs. Now, from what I'm reading online, this 2-liter motor that we have in this car is not, in fact, an SR20. I believe this is a K20 out of a Honda Civic, which would actually be perfect for Tommy F.Ya's K Miata. For those of you guys who have, seen a lot of Chris Rudnick's channels, you will know that Tommy F.Ya, also a very great YouTuber. One that there's not many car YouTubers that I really watch a lot, but definitely Racer Miata and Tommy F.Ya, probably two of my favorites. Now both of these guys killing the game. HP Logic hooking them up with some very JDM cars. I don't know, I think Tommy F.Ya has like 3 or 4 GTRs at this point. Really sick S15, and he's always doing some awesome giveaways. Racer Miata, he's got the Miata, he's got a very dope GTR. If I'm not mistaken, he still has the Stance Boy Civic, which I would love to build on this channel. If you guys want to see any of those cars, let me know down in the comments section for sure. But this car in particular, I feel like this thing could use a little more grip for when we're getting around these corners. As you can see, the back end kind of sliding out. Nothing too serious, but it's definitely something that I feel could be improved here. But other than that, this thing is an absolutely solid build. Now, I'm kind of unsure as to where we could have improved. Maybe if I left the stock differential, we could have got a better time. I might have to go back and experiment with that. But nonetheless, 12.2, even though it's almost a full second less than what Chris Rudnick's actual Roadster is running, still a very impressive time nonetheless, especially for a Mazda Miata, which are from factory and not that fast. Let's just be honest and not beat around the bush here. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this build right here. If you guys like this one, don't forget to smash that like button. It definitely helps the channel. Like I say, coming off a big break from making videos, like I say, putting a lot of time and effort just into building some actual cars for my channel. We just got a new Altima on the channel, which for those of you guys who have been subscribed to my other channel, we pretty much built the channel on Nissan Altimas, so I'm really stoked to have another Altima back on the channel where we're building it, doing the full SER conversion. G35 took her back to the track not that long ago, did some quarter-mile runs, had a little bit of issues near the end of the day. Definitely check out that vlog if you guys haven't. But I'm thinking we are probably going to put an end to this video. So as always, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. And we're going to catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace.
Don't die. Oh shit, where you going, bro? Don't be creeping on my friend. Don't be creeping on my friend. You and your homie. Oh, nut shot. Nut shot. Oh, buddy. Go. And your boy, man. Get him out of here. Oh, you fucking